Very good. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. Oliver, is there any new latest and greatest on things going on in the cyberspace?
As far as AI is concerned, there is a draft of what is known as ISO uh, 42005, which is all about AI compliance and how to implement that. As you might know, there is ISO 42001, which is the AI management systems kind of a overview and guidance. But there's additional standards in draft that you can view now, and yeah, we'll keep seeing these certain best practices and guidance that's come out, especially as the year goes by.
Okay, very good. Are you doing the audits on that?
As of right now, we're still in the process of getting that up and running. Not many companies in the US are doing the audits just yet, but definitely want to jump on that and be kind of one of market leaders there.
Yeah. Amanda just dropped in and said she'd love to see the link. So if you could drop the link to that draft where we can get to it, that'd be great. If you could drop it in the chat line, if you happen to be able to get to that.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you. One of the things that we wanted to talk about also, how many folks are out there using agents at this point, where you're creating agents?
I am.
You are. How you're doing it? What are you doing, Alexis?
Oh my gosh. There are so many ways to do it at this point. Oh, Siri's talking to me.
Pray tell.
Well, I have so I don't know if you guys will be familiar with the engineering side of this, but on the prototypical way to do on the engineering side is to use LangChain, which simply allows you to code chains which can bring together multiple inference steps. I've also been looking at LangFlow, which allows you to do that in a UI, so it's accessible to anyone who's, even if they're not an engineer. And then you can do it with some of the UIs associated with the individual models.
Have you done anything where you're just using GPT and creating the agents inside GPT?
I have only done that with, the chat interface, which essentially you can set up, not a reusable agent, but I know you're big on this, Lee. You can just run something and then ask the model to look at it again.
Yeah.
But I know there are ways to do that through the web apps for a number of these different models.
Right. I'm big on trying not to write code because I'm much better at talking to the engine than I am coding around it.
Results. And it was funny that the group was talking earlier about like large models and the efficiency of using large models or small models, and I'm not quite sure it's in the exact same alignment, but it got me thinking along the same lines of, is it really worth training your own models when you're trying to use things that have likely been solved in a way you might not have thought? So I didn't think that an LLM would be the best for text extraction, but apparently it's doing better than what we've trained thus far. So that's where we are right now. We're hoping that within the next few weeks, we'll be able to phase this into our customers.
That's really awesome, Daniel. I've been thinking about that too a lot recently, working with companies on this sort of thing. And I think another reason that it's worth using these large commercial LLMs is that they're advancing so fast that the bespoke models that people are creating are just going to be surpassed. If they're not surpassed right now, then they will be surpassed soon in the future. Does that make sense?
I think that's literally what happened to us. So I think we introduced this technology like right before ChatGPT went viral on consumer news, and it's just obviously advanced and is just outperforming whatever we've been able to invest with the the small number of scientists that we have on this.
Our team of 3 versus the billions of dollars being dumped in at OpenAI and Google and other competitors. The other thing I'd say too is that everybody, I mean, until this year, there weren't business friendly terms of service available to use some of these LLMs. And so a lot of companies are very leery of doing so. So it's only, the most recent iterations of the terms where, you actually can get an enterprise license for these sorts of things. So that's where my head is at on it.
Cool. Other comments?
Lee, this is one of the reasons why I was asking earlier in the year about retrieval augmented generation.
Yep.
It's using the large language models, the commercially available ones, to do what they're best at, which to me looks like composition, but differentiating ourselves with our own sources that will be used to, basically help us prompt better. So anybody out there who knows anything about it can point me in any direction on how to learn more about RAG or to actually implement it. I would be interested in knowing about. And Lee, I'll also throw out there, you seem to be doing everything in big prompts. What I'm doing is I'm breaking problems down into smaller problems. And then for me, then the challenge is how do I, route data from one to another. And just in the interest of simplicity, I've just been using JSON and text files because I'll get the output of one and it'll go into a text file, and when there I can modify it how I want to do it, because there's human intervention at every step of my process to check and see if it's okay before going to the next part of the process. And then the next one just takes the JSON in, works with it, and outputs more JSON. And I'll just throw that out there.
Yep.
And Mike, if you want to talk, I'm starting to delve into RAG systems. I do know how to set up like a simple vector store or what have you. So I'd love to just play around with things if you're interested.
Yes, I will contact you, Alexis. Thank you.
Yeah, and we had actually built a RAG system with Blackstone+Cullen internally, and I had done, as a part of our presentation, we actually had worked through last year. So I think if something this is of interest, we can get with you offline and maybe for the broader group, just show the concepts, how it goes, what are the